Jack the Ripper was an unidentified person who committed a string of horrific serial murders in 1888. His signature included mutilation or dismemberment of the victims, who were all women. Due to the fact that he seemed to only target alcoholic prostitutes, authorities assessed that he was likely a male seeking easy prey. As they put the pieces together, it was also figured that he was either abused or deserted by his mother when he was a child. This was the most likely reason why he only killed women. Based on the time of the murders, there are a few extra details we can ascertain. The killings typically took place on the weekends, and only ever between the hours of 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. These facts break down to mean two things: he probably had a job, but was single and had no family ties. During the time of the Ripper killings, there was already a high amount of violence against women occurring in the same area. In those days, the East End of London was considered the slums. A large number of attacks and murders happened specifically in the poverty-stricken district, Whitechapel. A string of 11 murders occurred between April 1888 and February 1891. They were all performed in terrible methods, but 5 of them in particular were able to be tied together. These women are considered the canonical 5 of Jack the Ripper. Any other victims are speculation and unable to be confirmed. The other 5 women were considered acts of gang violence. Similarly, no one was caught for these crimes either, so it is impossible to rule out Jack the Ripper for these as well. However, the canonical 5 all shared the same detail: they were killed by their throats being slit. For 4 of them, other awful wounds and mutilations were inflicted. But for the other, she only had the one laceration, and it is theorized that the Ripper may have been interrupted before he could carry out any other abominations. Even though these 5 had a connection, there is still no sure way to tell if Jack had other victims or not. Please take this time to subscribe. During this hunt, over 2,000 people were interviewed, 300 plus were investigated, and 80 were detained. It was determined by the lacerations on the victims that the killer had knowledge of human anatomy and thus could potentially be either a butcher or work in the medical field. As a result, 76 butchers and slaughterers were visited, and the examination of all the employees included the last 6 months. The case remained open until 1892, when the authorities officially closed the file based on lack of evidence and success. For a part 2 of this episode, please subscribe, in order to reveal more dark secrets of the Ripper.